Next up in Chapter 5 of Mastering Meditation, we'll be moving on to what is apparently an ancient Hawaiian meditation technique. And needless to say, I was surprised and stoked when I saw this pop up in the book. However, something I've been wanting to do, because I've never actually heard about this meditation approach before growing up here. It's called the Hakalau meditation, I guess you could say. But something I've been wanting to do is run this by some of my friends and family who are more in tune with the Hawaiian culture than I am, to see if they've ever heard about it. You know, it's kind of embarrassing for me to say, but I kind of just like missed that boat growing up, where both my parents and my older brother went to Kamehameha schools, which is a local private school here in the state. Definitely one of the better ones as well, where to get in, you're supposed to have Hawaiian blood to even be able to get in. I do know there's been some situations in the past where they got sued essentially, and you know there was some student going there who didn't have any Hawaiian blood, but for the vast majority of people there, you have to have Hawaiian blood to even get in. So like both my parents, my older brother made it in. I tried to get in. I almost got in 7th grade. Like I made it all the way to the interview process, but I must have bombed that interview because I didn't end up getting in. And then even more so than that is like on my mom's side of the family, especially like one of her sisters, all their kids, and they got tons of kids, they all went to one of the schools around here that are largely taught in Hawaiian. So like all those babies been fluent since they were tiny. And something else kind of cool about them is they adopted these two like 100% Korean girls. I thought they were sisters for a long time, but they're actually not related. But they adopted both of them, and so they grew up here since they were really small, and they went to these Hawaiian immersion schools. So they're like the most Hawaiian Koreans ever. It's pretty awesome to see. But nonetheless, I thought I would run this by them to see if they've ever heard about it, and if they have, you know, I'd like to get their point of view on how accurate Forrest's description is of the practice. But anyways, so one of the other things that makes this particular approach unique so far, at least as we've been going through this book, is the first open eye meditation that we'll be covering. And it's pretty similar to how I've described some open eye meditation approaches over the years on the channel, where this definitely isn't one I came up with on my own. I'm quite positive I got it from Sam Harris actually, but one of Sam Harris's approach to doing an open eye meditation is you find something in front of you, you look at it, but then you don't hold it in sharp focus. You kind of keep your view of it diffuse, so almost like you're looking at the space in between it, and you try to take everything in all at once. And that largely is the same Hakalau meditation approach that is covered in the book. So it's broken up into 2 steps. The first one, first pick a point on a wall in front of you, slightly above eye level, and then 2, as you stare at that one point, slowly open your peripheral vision and become aware of everything on the left and right side. Stare at one point, but notice everything in the sphere of your vision. You might lift your hands to the left and right sides and wiggle your fingers to make sure you can see them in your peripheral simultaneously. Hold that peripheral awareness as long as possible. And then it gets into how what this is essentially doing is it's strengthening the right side of your brain, where in a pretty recent video I was talking about how you really are trying to quiet down the left side with a lot of these meditation practices. Like even if you're doing a closed eye meditation, focusing on whatever object of attention you want, but then you have all these questions popping up in your head, over analyzing everything. So that's like the left side of the brain. So you're trying to quiet that down and have the right side take over, which this practice is supposed to help build up. And then we'll close it off with this. So this is actually how you want to progress the practice, so it's not just purely paying attention to what you're seeing. At first, your eyes will want to shift back and forth. Don't allow them to do this, but instead stare into space. This will allow the eyes to dilate and the whole scene will be absorbed. Now take it one step further. Take in all the sounds around you, take in all the feelings of your body, take in all the smells and tastes in your mouth. Now hold everything at once and feel yourself expanding into all of these perceptions without judgment. And so that can sound like a pretty daunting task, at least it does to me when I was reading through it. So the way I would try to approach this, although again, I don't know how good I was at actually trying to soak all this in, but I would basically be using my open eye awareness as my main object of attention, but then I would just try to stay open and basically combine it with like an open awareness approach to, as I'm feeling or hearing anything or tasting or smelling anything, I try just to pull that all in at once as I'm keeping my eyes open, and again, not taking in this one specific cup I happen to be staring at, but trying to take in everything else around it, like the computer screens, maybe make sure I can see my hands wiggling here on the side and stuff like that. So pretty cool approach. He talks a bit more, but it's mostly just getting into how this builds out the right side of your brain. And yeah, I'll leave it with that. So until the next video, keep your meditation practice legit.